So as you know, my name's Christine Becker. Currently, right now, I kind of serve in the food policy realm. And so I function as a co-chair for the Mayor's Food Access Agenda in Boston, and then have a boutique firm called Food Scribe Consulting, where I work with local and regional food system nonprofits on grants. Which is really great. So I had
Awesome.
been in,
Impressive.
yeah, yeah. I had actually joined one of your sessions. I think it was like a Saturday session where you kind of walk through grants, but I had presented a prototype of a logic model. Gosh, it was probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago, but it had been in fundraising for a really long time. And so I will stop there because I feel like I've answered your question.
Oh, no,
I could
no,
keep,
no. It's
yeah,
great. Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about, what was the impetus for joining the course?
sure.
You have so much experience in this world. So tell me a little bit about why you wanted to join.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So my background actually is academically is public policy, but I was in corporate banking, and so managed a pretty diverse portfolio of commercial and private banking clients. And obviously I had experience drafting proposals, but not as much in grant writing. And so once I transitioned to the nonprofit space, that was something that I really absorbed. And so I found it was pretty intuitive based on my past experiences. But as you know, it's really technical and in some ways. And then you also have like the challenge, and for me the exciting opportunity to really to create a compelling narrative, right, for whoever these stakeholders are. And so I was researching different programs and came across yours. I did a sample, I think it was like a trial run. Read some of your blogs. I was really impressed with your writing. That's really important to me, so it was really organized and clean. Then I saw you had a PhD in rhetoric and writing, and I was like, of course, that feels like that makes sense. And so, yeah, it was just a natural fit. And thus far, have really enjoyed the program. So,
You worked your way through the course. Do you mind telling me a little bit about your experience doing that?
sure, yeah, I don't mind at all. I mean, so I'm highly practical and pretty strategic. So I really appreciated the way that you organized all the material. I feel like it's really comprehensive. It's very palatable. So it's just easy to navigate. I think for me, I spaced it out simply because I wasn't new. I wasn't new to grant writing, but I wanted to learn a little bit from your expertise. And so um, I probably did a module like once every month. That felt like a really healthy pace for me because I'm also in a program at the Kennedy School, and so yeah, it just
So, how have you been since finishing, and has it helped you with your grant writing or with awards? Have you had any?
yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like if anything, it was just a really great boost of confidence. So the thing I like about the course is the way that you've set it up. It's really perfect for it has a broad reach, right? So if you have a person who's never written a grant before, like the way that you introduce terms, the way that I loved how you introduced grantors as investors, essentially, into investing into your company organization. I thought that was a really good framework, especially with my background, which really was the huge emphasis on relationship building. And so I thought that was a really wise move, because I think people tend to look at grants as like, well, I just need to have an award, right, for funding this particular program, and not really thinking about the long term sustainable, like the investment of this particular relationship. So, anyways, I just wanted to highlight that. I really love the way that you positioned that. But yeah, in terms of going back to the broad reach, I mean, someone like myself who's written grants before, there were still insights that I felt like were really helpful. I think specifically how you organize information in the actual narrative, that was really helpful. It helped me, I think, to fine tune the history section and then the vision statement. I'm a huge data person, so I already believe in the power of data, both quantitative and qualitative. So that was a really great, like, you kind of reiterating the importance of that. Um, but yeah, so since then, I would say I was trying to remember. I've written quite a few in the last several months. So, but all were 5, 6 digit grants, letters of interest. You know, one thing that I feel like I kind of niche in is making sure that grantors just can sign on for multi-funding, like multi-year funding. I think if you massage the relationship really well, then that should be a possibility, especially if you're doing like appropriate evaluations and again, like presenting data. Yeah, there have been several awards. Again, I would say if I had to like quantify, and this is a very rough estimate, maybe 60% were in 6 digit categories, and then the remaining were 5. But
Congrats. That's
yeah,
awesome.
so I think it really helps in terms of building rapport, credibility, reputation in the local food system, and that's helpful, especially me being so new to Boston. So yeah, I mean, word of mouth is the best way, to spread the news, and so um, yeah, it's been great, and I've been able to leverage those relationships to again build others. So,
That's
I mean,
awesome. So
yeah,
proud
client,
of you.
thanks, thanks, yeah, yeah. I mean, you understand that as well. Clients appreciate receiving funding.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like, a miracle, because they have the idea, they tell you the idea. They don't have as much input into the grant as you do, obviously, so it kind of I feel like when you are a writer and the other person is not a writer,
Right.
when it comes together seems very mystical and magical to me.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a good feeling when you can translate the important work someone's doing into this, like, beautiful proposal that gets
Yeah,
funded.
yeah, yeah. It's most certainly a work of art in my world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Christine, if you were talking to somebody about the course and they were thinking about joining, what would you say to them?
This is a really great question. And I wish I had a script, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, I most certainly would have no reservations of recommending the program to anyone, especially if they're interested in grant writing. I think like maybe a quick, I don't know, elevator speech, so to speak, would be whether you are new to the grant writing world or you just want to kind of fine tune your existing knowledge, then I would highly recommend the program. One, because the curriculum, again, as I mentioned, it's very organized, it's well written, it's thoughtful, um, and it's just easy to digest. And I think making sure that there are communities which you've done like through Facebook, and then you've graciously offered your own personal time to provide feedback. I think that's incredibly beneficial for someone who maybe has never like designed a logic model before, or has never seen a strategic plan before, or who has no idea how to capture data and then and how to report it in
Mhm.
a way that grantors, a board of trustees is going to care about. So yeah, I would probably say that. I think,
Thank you.
yeah, sure, sure, no problem.